Bonjour everyone, I am Anne-Lise Cailliez and welcome to Parlez-vous CEO, where we ditch the corporate talk and get real about entrepreneurship. Each week, I chat with founders and CEOs who build businesses their way, through the failures, pivots, and breakthroughs. And they bring the fire. Plus, I'll drop some golden nuggets of wisdom from my own entrepreneurial journey. This is your space to grow, learn, and evolve with a true growth mindset. Remember, success isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Now let's kick things off and get this party started. Hello, bonjour, and bonjour, hello. Welcome to another episode of Parlez-vous CEO. My name is Anne-Lise Cailliez, and I am your host. For those who are just joining the podcast today, we're Brandora, and we specialize in helping real estate companies scale their revenue. If you want to learn how to take your business to the next level, make sure to stick around. And if you want to receive a free growth consultation, just drop the word growth in the DMs. Today, I have a very exciting guest with me today, Shell Brodnax from North Carolina. I'm looking forward to diving into your profile. Your story seems so interesting. For those of you who are listening, Shell is a speaker and author. She also runs her own podcast, and I look forward to diving in. Shell, in your own words, would you introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about your story?
Sure. My name is Shell Brodnax. I am the CEO of the Real Estate Staging Association. So we're a trade association for professional real estate stagers, same type of organization as the National Association of Realtors, but for stagers. I've been in the industry about since 2002, so 23 years, I think that is coming. And I love it. I had a transition from a completely different career. I was a licensed private investigator for about a decade, and I was kind of did all I could do in the field. This was before Facebook, before the computers. This is where you had to search records at courthouses and things like that. Just after a while, it was like, okay, I can kind of do it all. There's nothing I can't find out about somebody. And I was kind of topped out and just needed more of a challenge. And so I created a challenge and went out and got a job selling home staging classes to teach people how to run a business, and did that for about 6.5 years. And then I founded this organization, RISA.
That's awesome. And so from private investigator to choosing staging, what was the appeal? What were you thinking when you make that move?
When I first made the move, it was only about a paycheck, to be honest with you. It was just, I needed another job. I wanted to get out. I knew somebody who knew somebody. So we connected, and I'd come in at very low level and just kind of started over at the bottom. And of course, I took my skill set from being a private investigator and have been doing sales my whole career. And I put that into the role that I had. And I was the director of sales and marketing. That took off, and I did that for about 6.5 years and just loved it. It's something that I was very natural at. I was able to have free reign with my position at the company to make changes, to request new things, to try new things. So it was a really positive environment for that.
Would you say that having these skills in sales and marketing are transferable in almost any kind of industry? And if you're a killer in sales and marketing, can kind of success in most of
kill
other
it
fields.
Anywhere. You really can. I always talk to people, who want to get into a career of home staging, and they think they don't have certain skill sets. And I say, well, what did you do in the past? Well, I was a marketing director for this, or I did PR, or even women who have children that have gone to school age now, and they're in school and the moms are wanting to do something for themselves. And they'll say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And it's like, wait a minute. Just a stay-at-home mom? No, sister, you've got tons of skills that you will put into a staging business or any other business from being a full-time mom. I mean, your organizational skills is what you pull into, your creativeness you pull into, your leadership skills you pull into. So there's so many things that you can translate over from being just a stay-home mom. And I always tell people, you're the CEO of your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. Moms are natural, really, really good at operations, by just the sense of doing that very well and juggling with so many responsibilities, wearing so many hats, and there's definitely transferable skills. Absolutely. So, Shell, tell me what you love about sales and what makes you good at sales.
Let's see. Well, I always just try to find a solution for somebody. It's really, I come at everything from what I do is in helping somebody resolve a problem. And when you have sales and you want to sell something, if I'm selling a widget, I need to find somebody who's got the problem that needs the widget. And so it's all about, for me, I have a lot of passion with things, but I have to believe in it. Like I couldn't go and sell something that I did not believe in. But when I'm talking about staging, this is something that is a passion. It works. I love it. I love the industry. So it's very, very easy because I'm authentic. And I think that's the thing with sales is that the more you are yourself, the better you're going to succeed. When you're trying to play a role or try to impersonate some other personality, that's when it kind of falls apart. But if you're authentic and friendly and kind, it just goes a million miles.
Absolutely, I'm with you. I think if you really love what you're doing and you can really see the value, convey the value, that's really what makes or breaks like how good you are with relationship building, really. And I love staging. Love it. I see a lot of similarities with design and marketing, and it's related to real estate. I love real estate. What is the thing you love the most about staging?
For me, well, I don't actually stage homes, but what I love about the industry is just the results. The proof is in the pudding. It just works. And if more agents would be open to using a stager on their properties, their clients are going to make more money. The properties are going to sell faster. In a slow market, a property is going to sell while the others sit. So there's so many advantages to it. And just watching the industry grow and watching how much it's changed has been incredible to watch over the last 20 something years. Over 2 decades in the industry, and it is not the same when I first started at all, but it's a legitimate resource, and it's really the only proven method to increase a sale on a property.
And the numbers can just prove it. And if
Numbers
you're
prove
a
it.
stager or new to having a staging company, or you're thinking, I'd love to start my own staging company, who would you say are the ideal clients? Is it better to build relationships with as many real estate agents as possible, or would you go for direct buyers?
Both. You don't want to ignore either one of them. So number one, real estate agents are going to be your number one real client because they've got the client already. They can connect you to your client that you need. But homeowners, you still market to them as well because sometimes they don't have a real estate agent yet, or they may have one and may not know about staging. Things could be sitting on the market for extended amounts of times, and you would have an opportunity to help them realize what staging could do for them so they could pull it off the market, get it staged, and then relist it. There's just a lot of ways to be able to market your staging business. But one of the other great ways to do is to get involved. So if you are a stager and you want to get business from agents, I would number one, join RISA because we have a plethora of resources just in general to help you grow your business. And two, I would get involved with the local real estate association in your local area. They have events, they have marketing meetings, usually once a week, where they go over buyers' wants and their needs, and people can share information. You can sponsor things. But when you just go and you make yourself a staple, and you're going, does this mean go twice and your business is going to change? It means you need to infiltrate and become one of them. And the only way to do that is to keep showing up at their meetings, and because you make a presence for yourself, and you don't want to be too green. You don't want to go around handing out your business cards to everybody that will take one and say, let me take you to lunch. Let me show you how I can work with you. They're busy people, so you want to be respectful of their time. And actually, the more mysterious you are, the more intrigued they are. So tone it down a bit, be a little bit more mysterious because everybody has what they can't want or what's slightly out of their range. So why be like everybody else, jumping up and down, wanting the attention?
That's
Be a
a
little
very
elusive, like a Sasquatch or something, and just watch them and just keep showing up. And then over time, you become one of them. And then everybody knows who you are and they're just naturally using you.
That's a very good tip for people who are listening to us. Instead of being so eager, trying to be more mysterious and having a sense of exclusivity and make them want more from you instead of offering gratuitous information and having no filter. I love hearing that. And Shell, what was the best marketing coup you've done and the worst marketing coup you've done working in the staging industry?
I'd say for me personally, the best is becoming one of them. That is just networking. Networking is for me, it works for me personally. It doesn't work for everybody because I'm really kind of an introvert, but everybody thinks I'm this big extrovert. And it's like, I will be when I have to be, but I like my downtime and my peaceful time and my alone time and all that. But networking is just one of the best ways to be able to get your brand across as many people as you possibly can for the exposure. For the worst, I've actually been really lucky on things. So I can't even imagine that anything was the worst, but I find the most ineffective are just standard emails with no pizzazz, with no real message, with no real call to action. You can really mess up an email campaign really easily. So I think those are the less effective ones. I think they're necessary, but they can be more effective than people allow them to be.
Absolutely. I mean, I think as business owners, we're bombarded by very bad cold emails all the time. And I don't think it's that hard to make them better and stand out if you actually understand very well your target audience, their pain points, and how to offer solution and value. So I'm still, when I receive a bad email, and I do a lot multiple times a day, I'm always thinking, who is the marketer behind it? Who is the kind of lazy marketer behind it that thought they could just use AI and they would just cut it? Like nobody wants to. When does that ever work? I'm always about this. And so right now with your association, how do you connect with more stagers to I don't know if the word is recruit them, but to have them join your association?
Yeah, so we have an annual conference every year where we get together with hundreds of stagers across North America, and they even come from Australia and the UK and Brazil, the Netherlands. We've just got Japan even. We've got our regulars that come from out of the country.
Mhm.
And we have during the year just so much connection. And that's what stagers are really wanting. They want to connect with other stagers to bounce ideas off of, to brainstorm, to have a sense of community. And that's what we provide for stagers. And then for the industry, we're raising the bar. We're creating legitimacy. We're creating standards in the industry. So that helps all stagers across the board, whether they're actually members of RISA or not.
Absolutely. I think there is so much value in putting people from the same trade together. You know, instead of thinking, oh, they're my competition, there is so much value in hearing other peers, what they're going through, connecting, it can be a resource. And I, from my own experience, I was very isolated, starting my own business. I have a marketing agency and I joined an accelerator program where I'm with a lot more people scaling their businesses. And it's been so good to hear other people talk about their struggle, helping each other out. And the camaraderie is amazing. And I think it's so important to have this group, these associations, exactly what you've been building are so important and so valuable. And I'm not surprised that you have people coming from Australia and all over the world because I can definitely see the value. Michelle, if you had a magic wand right now to help you out with your business, what would it be?
I would have every home stager in North America be a member of RISA.
Mhm.
I am a firm believer of rising tides raise all boats, and we are a community and we're a nonprofit organization. So the decisions are not made to benefit somebody's bottom line personally. Everything is invested back into the programs that we do. So again, rising tides raise all boats for members or not members, but to get the support of every stager out there, that would be ideal because we could do even more, because the more community that we have, the faster it's going to happen and the easier it's going to be by just pulling everybody together under one roof.
Absolutely. That's such a potent vision. I love it.
And
And
then I look at it and I say, how many more people could we help then? We have our membership now. We're helping like 1,200 people right now as our membership database. But what if we could help 5,000 people, or 10,000 people? It's that I look at, because everything my staff does, I mean, they literally wake up every single morning to come to work to serve others.
Mhm.
So everything that we do is a matter of how can we help? How can we elevate? How can we create standards?
What do you think is preventing you from having all the stages being part of the association right now?
Not everybody knows about us, although we have a really big presence. A lot of times there's just so many new people getting into the industry. They really strongly feel like they can't afford a $190 membership. It's a mindset with new entrepreneurs that happen where they come in and they say, I'm sure you've heard this, I'll get a website in a year when I can afford it. It's things like that. And it's like, what? No, sister, you need a website now, darling. We got to get this handled. But that's like the number one thing that stagers will say when you say, let me look at your website for you. They say, oh, I don't have one. Well, I'm like, what? How do you not have a website? Or they might just use Instagram. And it's just, if you want to present yourself as a professional, you have to have these professional things and you have to show up, and you have to show up in a way where your brand doesn't look like you DIY'd it. And it has to be solid and it has to represent you and what you do in the spirit of your business. It's not just about colors and logos. It's about who you are and what your standards are. And I think that a lot of this is just very new mindset for entrepreneurs when they're first starting out. Not
Right.
everybody gets the big picture right away. So it kind of takes them a while to get their feet wet and then for them just to decide, And when they join, they always say, I don't know, why didn't I do this sooner? It's like $200. Who cares? Look what all the value that I got for this. And real estate agents understand trade associations. They all belong to the National Association of Realtors, and most of them are realtors. And stagers, it's the same thing. You have RISA, which is the same type of organization to help give you credibility and boost legitimacy as an industry resource, across the board.
Absolutely. It's interesting how in the beginning we always think we don't need these things, but I guess you don't know what you don't know in the
Don't know what
beginning.
you don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's also self-belief and investing in yourself that the first time you're an entrepreneur, you don't know. But I think I made the mistake early on to not hire a coach right away. For instance, now that I look back, I've had my business for 10 years, and for 7 years, I didn't get any help. I was doing everything myself. And I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? It did not even cross my mind to hire a coach. Absolutely being part of a group of peers, being coached, hiring help like almost immediately, saving so much time, headache, and also to avoid the loneliness, in the beginning, I think is so important to navigate the ups and downs. And I definitely believe in being part of a group, like the one that you're building is so important.
Coaches are just crucial. I mean, for me, the coaching that I provide for people, I specialize in newbies. If you are brand new, let me help you get started, because I'm going to cut your learning curve in half, if not more. And you've got to be able to find somebody that you trust and you can relate to, that you can bounce these ideas off. And the sooner you do it, you're right, the better off that you are. But most people don't think about it until they want to scale.
Right. So crucial to have access to someone, if you have a mentor, great. But I think it's really hard to find a mentor who's done exactly what you want to do, scaled it successfully, and willing to teach you. Yeah, so it's a lot of pieces that need to happen together. So if you have access to a coaching program or a coach that's doing that, to me, it's a top value.
It is.
I
And
would
we
sign
have
immediately.
that as resources at RISA too. So we have great coaches that are on board that we can connect people with. We have a brand new mentoring program that we can connect mentees and mentors together. So it's just a lot of sense of community. It's just, we're doing everything we can just to raise everybody up and raise the value and standards in staging.
I love that. That's music to my ears. And Shell, do you have any influencers or celebrities or writers, anyone that you're looking up to, or a dream dinner guest that you would want to invite? And that can be somebody deceased.
Holy moly. I will tell you that my first person, when I was probably 21 or 22, first book that I read about business was called See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. Brilliant. It's a very easy to read. It's a quick read. It still holds value today. It's got some old school stuff because, he was an older guy. He's passed away now, but that was one of the first books that I read, and I used to watch all of his videos. But today I like inspirational people like Mel Robbins or Tony Robbins. There are just so many people out there that just give nothing but inspiration, and I love it. I eat it up. I want to stay positive. I want to listen to other people that are positive. And for having a dinner with somebody, boy, I'd have to really think about that one for a long time. But who did I see on TV the other night? And I told my husband that person would be fun to have dinner with. He was a guest on a talk show, and I don't even remember who he was, but he was talking about statistics or something that was totally not relatable to anything. And I'm like, I would love to have dinner with that guy. I just would like to have dinner with people that are engaging and positive and want to share their stories as well.
I love that. And Shell, if you had to give your 20-year-old self a piece of advice, I call them the golden nuggets of advice. What would you tell your younger self?
Don't marry Pat.
Don't marry Pat.
Don't marry Patrick. Other than that, that's at 20. If I was actually my 15-year-old self, I would say take school more seriously than you did. Stay away from the boys. Don't marry Pat. Get your career off the ground first before you do anything what you're doing. Take care of you first. You can't possibly compete in the world, whether it be in business, relationships, anything along those lines very successfully if you're not firm in who you are. So get yourself together, understand your integrity, your principles, your standards, and don't lower your standards to meet somebody else's because of, some boy is cute or whatever. It's just one of those things that when we are really young women, a lot of times young ladies get off track. And I want to see young people stay on the track, take care of themselves, build themselves first, then go out and if you want to get married and have a family and all that. But if you don't, that's fine too. There's so many people that are choosing not to have families these days. And that's awesome if that's what works with you. But my best thing is know who you are, stand by who you are, and stay who you are.
Beautiful conclusion with the cat passing by. Absolutely. I love this advice. I mean, I think even older women still sometimes get derailed because of love. Sometimes it just overpowers everything. It's like, no, stay on your track. Take care of yourself first. Absolutely. I'm with you. And Shell, what's coming up next for you? What's the one thing that you want to achieve for the business for the next year?
Well, we have a lot of new things coming out very soon, but the biggest thing that's on the horizon for us is our annual convention. It's in July 24th through the 26th. It's just a great event. We get hundreds of stagers through all around the globe that come, and to make that the most successful event that we have of the year. It is always the most successful event that we have, and again, we're helping hundreds of people, and they will come to the event and leave full of knowledge and camaraderie and sisterhood.
And what's the name of the event and where is it located?
It's in Las Vegas at the M Resort, and it's called RISA Con. So risaconvention.com for details.
Awesome. And so, Shell, where can people find you?
RealEstateStagingAssociation.com. That's our main website. On social medias, it's just my name, Shell Brodnax, mostly Shell Brodnax Official.
Thank you so much for being a guest today. It was such a pleasure having you. I love diving into your story, and I thought it was so inspiring what you would tell yourself, how to think of yourself first. I love what you're building with RISA and the association and gathering so many stages together to elevate standard and building community. I think is so important, so helpful. So I loved hearing your story, and you seem a master in both sales and marketing, and I always love meeting other peers. It was a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a lovely conversation.
And that wraps up today's episode on Parlez-vous CEO and our special real estate series with female leaders. I am Anne-Lise Cailliez, and I can't wait to join you again next week. Thanks for listening to Parlez-vous CEO today. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. It helps us keep going. And connect with us on Instagram at Parlez-vous CEO. I am Anne-Lise Cailliez, and I know some days are harder than others. On those tough days, think back to why you started. What you're doing today matters, even when you can't see the results yet. Ideas are great, but it's what you do with them that counts. Find everything we talked about today at parlezvousceo.com. See you next week, and you've got this.